looking ahead to Secretary of State, it seemed as if Donald Trump had narrowed the field to General Petraeus and Mitt Romney, but now it looks like he's expanding the pool once again, and there are other names being floated as potential secretaries of state.
Right. So, we're hearing about former Utah Governor John Huntsman, who is sort of a rival of Mitt Romney. So it's a little bit unclear if he's actually under consideration. He has a lot of foreign policy experience, or if it's just sort of a continued not Mitt Romney crusade. It's a little bit unclear. It's very clear, though, that Trump's inner circle and, potentially the president-elect himself just haven't found exactly what they're looking for. And there's clear tension over Romney as well as General David Petraeus. Because of his convictions, a lot of people are pretty uncomfortable that he mishandled classified information. And so they seem to be going back to the drawing board on this sort of first among equals cabinet pick.
And of course, David Petraeus, the general, was on all the Sunday morning talk shows, Oliver, trying to make the case and showcase how he can bounce back from questions about his
email situation.
Email situations,
right?
Yes.
Which, of course, was obviously Trump harped on at length with Clinton, but not so much with Petraeus. Again, this kind of points to all these people that are coming and going, but it's hard to really know where they end up. One person that has ended up somewhere is Mr. Carson, a former presidential candidate as well alongside Trump, who then went to his support. What do we know about how he's going to function heading up HUD? Does he have any experience here that indicates he's capable of doing so, or will, a good pick for it, rather?
He doesn't really seem to have the relevant experience. Now, of course, there are always cabinet positions that are sort of handed out to loyalists. And I know we've talked about this before, that loyalty seems to be one of these really key criteria that the Trump team is latching onto, at least for some of their picks. Carson and Trump really went after each other when they were both in the race. They said some pretty nasty things about each other, especially Trump on Carson. But once Carson dropped out, he really kind of got behind Trump and was an important liaison to different parts of the party and different parts of the country. What Trump and the transition team touted when they were announcing that he had accepted was, his openness of heart and his willingness to help people. He did come from pretty meager circumstances, to the top of his profession and at the top of the world, really. And so they sort of touted those things as they were talking about it. But it's not clear that he really knows anything or has ever worked in housing policy, really.
Ben, last question to you. I want to go back to Ivanka Trump and the Trump children. Oliver does like Ivanka quite a bit. But it comes back to that idea of Donald Trump saying that he would end conflicts of interest when it comes to his being president and his businesses. Is there a sense, or is there a greater understanding of how he might do that? There are some people who say the political landscape has changed so much that Americans don't really care as much about these conflicts of interest anymore. Because after all, Donald Trump campaigned on this idea that he was successful in business and that would carry over into success in government. To separate those two now would get in the way of that idea.
It's not clear to me that Americans, writ large American voters, care about this, but it is clear to me, more people voted for Hillary Clinton than voted for Donald Trump at the end of the day, and I think a lot of those voters do care. I also think Democrats will make an issue of it. Should they retake the House, I think they'll hold hearings. I think it's possible they'll be taking him to court over freedom of information. I think they'll be waging a media campaign. I think they'll be going on our cameras and really calling him out to sort of clarify some of these things. And to go back to the question that you posed, no, I don't think it's clear, despite what the president-elect said late last week, about how exactly he would manage these conflicts. And it's not clear that he has a plan that would really take care of them.